All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. If not, it'll be a voice over. We'll determine that after the video. So what we got here, older direct drive Whirlpool washer. Now, the dogs are bad. We gotta change those. But I just want to go over a couple things between this washer and this washer. Now, this is a newer style Whirlpool, and obviously they're worlds apart. Kind of wanted to go over just a few differences and break down pretty much why this washer is inferior to this machine. Now it says Kenmore, it's just Kenmore badged Whirlpool machine. I would start off here, the timer. You turn, push, and so much more reliable than a control board. Okay? So you have your load selector, water temperature, and of course your options for rinse. And basically this is the speed in which the motor can wash at. So if you want to have a slower, more delicate, you would adjust this. And of course it's on heavy, fast, which makes the machine or the motor work harder. It would be faster agitation, so to say. The drum, not as large, but if you actually compare them from side to side, now you do have the agitator, which takes up some space. Agitator, they work just fine. Keep in mind, that is what is moving and washing and pushing your clothes. A wash plate is very limited in how much rotation it can do to manage the load. Thing is the water. On this guy, you can increase the water level, and with this it's pretty much preset unless you have deep fill, which I'm looking up there. But either way, you can't manage your loads. Another weak point, the door switch. Everything is dependent on the machine. You have to press pause, wait for the machine to open the door. This, no lock. You open it if it's during the spin or during the wash. Now, you have suspension rods on this machine. These are bad. This washer, I think, is 5 years old. 5. And it's in my warehouse. It needs to be fixed. This washer is, I'd say, 17 years old. I could be wrong. I have not ran the numbers, so I don't know what the actual age is. I'm sure someone will tell me. And I know this machine is not new. It's up there in the age. So probably 15 to 19 years old, I would gander. The dogs need to be replaced. No problem. The motor is good. The clutch is good. Transmission is good. Everything on this machine is still good. So my point to all of this, newer stuff is getting worse and worse. This customer, this was actually given to me, brought in, and I think the customer upgraded or downgraded, I should say, to, I forgot, but newer machines. And I feel bad sometimes. I really do. Because these machines are just gems. Amazing machines. They run, they last. And think there's a number down here. I'll double check that, probably scan it. So back here we have self-leveling legs, and these work when you tilt the machine forward. See that? And the legs are leveled. We're going to look underneath of both of them. Now this one, you'd have to level the legs individually until you get something leveled. I'll talk quickly about valves. These valves usually around 4 years or 5 if you're lucky, and you have to replace at least the cold. The hot normally is not as doesn't get used as much, so it's normally not as bad, but the cold is prone for going bad within 4 to 5 years. These valves still working, no problem there. Let's look underneath. All right, so first off we have our drain pump, and when I had it laid down, some water got on that. Normally if this was leaking, this part would be full of rust. This is a beautiful looking machine, immaculate actually. This is totally normal. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of rust, and machine looks beautiful. This is the coupling, and this connects the motor to the transmission. And this is the motor. That's your drain hose. It's your tub to pump. So the newer machine as well will have very similar things, but you'll have an electronic pump, which is not as hardy, and they fail, they burn out. This does not burn out. If the motor is working, the pump will be working, and so you don't have that weak link. This is a heavy-duty transmission. It does a great job getting the job done. And the only thing sometimes will break on these is the coupling, which is cheap. And motor, yes, the motor does go, but very, very rare. Now, those are your gliders. Sometimes those need to be replaced, but if you're careful with your machine, you never have to replace them. Shipping bolts, if you do see them fall out, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. Other than that, pretty straightforward. When you have leaks, these are always rusty. Look at that, that's brand new. They even still turn. Amazing. It's a beautiful machine, beautiful. Self-leveling legs. We'll be wrapping these up into here just to make sure that they stay together, keep everything off the ground. And we're gonna look now under the newer machine and kind of just see a difference after years of, you may say, workmanship on Whirlpool. I didn't mention anything about the agitation portion here, of course the wash plate, but underneath you have what you call tub hub, and usually around 4 years is when you start to have issues with it. This wash plate is a pain in the you-know-what to remove, and then to get to the tub hub. So another weak link there. Yes, you got a big drum, but only for about 4 years. Those love to fail. So let's get onto this and see if it gets any better. All right, so we're under the machine, and you figure we should have less problems with these newer machines, but obviously it's not. So the shifter, it works by moving the machine from wash to spin. Capacitor, the other one does have a capacitor as well. So same thing carried over. You have a belt on this unit. Sometimes the belt will wear out. The belt will fall off. Sometimes when you overload this machine, this nut will come off and this will eat through here. Now, your drain pump is up here, as the other one has a drain pump as well, but this one is dependent on the board. So if you have a bad board, your machine is pretty much done. At least with the timer ones, you might be able to manually advance it and put it into drain or spin. So just some of the different weak links. This is a gear case, aka could be a transmission, but it's technically not a transmission. Another weak link, suspension rods, which they wear out quite often. Within 4 to 5 years, you're going to need new suspension rods. So overall, the longevity, of these machines are basically throwaway machines, and it's such a waste when you stop and think about it. They do have nice legs. When they have the nice cushion rubber, I do like that. But overall, it's no comparison to that machine, like zero. All right, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. If you do have that machine, hold on to it as long as you possibly can. Repair it if it needs to be repaired. Don't chunk them. Thanks for watching.